At reDirect, we know nonprofits face tough challenges every day, from team burnout and volunteer shortages to high staff turnover and communication breakdowns. But we believe these aren't signs of an organization's failures or shortcomings. They're clues. Clues about challenges that nonprofits are navigating and some of the reasons that they might end up in that situation. That's where reDirect's C framework, or supportive environments for effectiveness, comes in. It's a powerful approach to uncovering the root causes behind these challenges in order to build environments where people feel they can thrive. We work with nonprofits to experiment with small but impactful changes, turning obstacles into opportunities for growth. The result? More supported, engaged teams, personnel that feel valued, and organizations equipped to create lasting impact. At reDirect, we're here to help our partners not just face challenges, but reframe and work through them with a structured and collaborative approach, and with environments designed by their teams for their teams.
City Greens Market is a nonprofit grocery store based in St. Louis.
We're a children's mental health facility.
We ensure the safety and well-being of children remains at the forefront of legal proceedings.
We are an eco-spirituality center. We have 8 or 9 museums throughout the state.
Family education, food share market, resale store.
Our first small experiment was really trying to create an onboarding process for both our employees and our board.
We've identified community education as a big kind of priority.
We're looking at evaluation as a whole for staff.
We wanted to do more with the media, specifically media kits, so our media partners can have a better idea of the work that we're doing.
What we did was actually in many ways stop doing something. We decided to pause on the acceptance of new library volunteer applicants. So we can plan strategically what are ways that volunteers can contribute in new ways that we just couldn't get to when we were constantly bringing on new people.
For an organization to be able to keep moving forward, you have to constantly be innovating. And the only way to do that successfully, I think, is to be able to show that you're willing to take risks. But the best way to do that is in an environment that is a little bit structured.
The model building, the being capable, the meaningful action was very helpful.
Having the shared language on mental models, and so getting people on the same page and using shared language so we can understand what we're all working towards.
I think the biggest one was being capable. How do I become more capable? It felt like I was always doing the undoable. I'd do an interview and there'd be 3 more applications the next day. And I was like,
I think the biggest revelation to me was I need to simplify. Everything I have right now is good information, but way too complicated.
I found out during the whole cohort that we were overcomplicating pretty much everything.
The phrase that we've used the most from C is less is more. Are we putting in just what's necessary but not too much? That's what we got out of C the most.
The welcome email, it's smaller and it is bullets as opposed to chunks of information and paragraphs. There's now a follow-up system for supervisors after a welcome email has been sent out. Here's our supervisor checklist for tips and guidance so that you have it. Very precise and concise information and tasks that they need to do, as opposed to conversational, which is kind of how I operated. And people don't read emails like that. They just need to know, I need A, B, and C to get to D, and I need it by this time, right?
Using the process to engage other employees in helping to build the checklist helped us identify where we had gaps in knowledge.
The idea of small experiments is really helpful because we were like, okay, we're just going to experiment.
Smaller jumps, instead of leaps and bounds.
The tendency is when you're thinking about change to make something this big.
And there's this giant, pile you're dealing with. It's small steps, and that's what's needed.
Things you can do in a short amount of time.
And not everything is successful, and we know that, but we're okay with that because we understand that in the process we get to learn and we get to come back at the end and evaluate and say, where did we go wrong? What can we do? What can we change?
This gave us a framework to be like, oh, I see what we did wrong that time. Oh, I see how we didn't set someone up for success.
C helped me to see more clearly. I didn't think going into this that I would be updating as much as I did. We want to be seen as an elevated program that's doing the best we can, and you've provided these tools to help us.
Super helpful.
And it's a grant to fund you to work on this.